Throughout my life, I've seen a lot of people that say they're in favor of equal rights and say that people shouldn't be judged based on one quality of them, and then they turn around and take a whole group of people and they judge them themselves based on their own set of personal experiences with a handful of these people. So, one of the common times I see this happening is that women bash men on a regular basis, say that they're not real men, say they're not manly enough, say all men are shit, whatever variation of it you want. So I wrote this poem for some of the men I've encountered in my life. It was a man who I ran to the day I wished the world was flat so that I could drive straight off the edge. It was a man who clotheslined me at the waist, pulled me into his body, and let torrents of tears and snot be absorbed by his shirt after I just broke both of our hearts. It was a man who took me to get my septum pierced and only told me after the deed was done that he usually hates them, but I pull it off well, because he knew I was impressionable and didn't want to sway my decision. It was a man who let me cry on the phone for hours as he choked down his own rage to soothe me after I met a man who wasn't ready to hear the word no. It was a man that waited 2 weeks to tell me I stomped on his heart the day I drunkenly confessed to being so in love with one of my friends that dating felt like cheating. Because he knew I was already stressed about finals and didn't want to add to it. It was a man who told me that he realized I don't need anyone and that I don't need protected, but that he wants to be there to support me as long as I'll let him. It was a man that told me he didn't expect anything just because he made me dinner because I was too oblivious to see past my self-doubt. And it was a man who told me that I'm easy to love and then held me afterwards when I asked if it's so easy why I can't seem to do it myself. It was a man who, after I yelled at him, told me to go look in the mirror because I've been the most beautiful he's ever seen me when I'm standing up for myself. And it was a man who thanked me when I told him I wasn't interested in dating, then asked me if we could still be friends because he liked hanging out with me. When before then I didn't realize that I even had a value to men beyond sexual. It was a man who cornered me in a study room and wouldn't listen when I said I was uncomfortable and I wanted him to stop. And it was a man who kept pushing his way through dozens of no's until a yes finally came out just so he would leave me alone so I could go to sleep. And it was a man who told me to watch what people post of me on social media so he doesn't get embarrassed if someone sees the wrong thing. And it was a man who made me feel uncomfortable, yelling out lewd remarks as I walked past him on my way to the bus stop. And it was a man who continually tore me down out of fear that if I stood up for even a moment, I might run and he wouldn't be able to catch up. But I don't want to identify men by the vagrants that I've encountered moving from woman to woman, hoping they'll be able to find one just hollow enough to take up residence in. I want to remember men by the stranger in front of my mom at the concert that bought her waters for her, by the man that said I have to go and abruptly hung up the phone without saying I love you, but only because he saw a flower shop and needed to pull over before he passed it up. By the man in the aisle that you know is struggling as he's trying to pick out tampons for his daughter because her mom isn't around to help guide them through this. By the laugh shared, tears wiped, hand held, and love given. I choose to remember men the same way I remember the perfect sunny day, with all the warmth and light but leaving out the burns left where the sunscreen didn't cover. I love you.